It took me 15 years to learn what I'm going to share with you today that you can learn and even better implement in maybe 30 seconds. I spent most of my adult life, at least the last 15 years of it, really wanting to do this right here, right now. I made some attempts, made some inroads, and you can even find some of my earliest videos. There's only a few of them that are still on my channel from quite a few years ago. And I didn't, it just didn't start. And I can say why. It wasn't necessarily a fear of failure as much as it was over planning, over complicating, and more than anything, waiting for permission. And what I've learned after all of these years of waiting and stopping and starting and feeling super blocked and hesitant and restless is to just start, just hit record, just write, just publish. And ever since I started, it's been pretty amazing. I've felt so much better about everything. That same restless angst that I used to feel because I felt called to do something more, to do something different. I don't have that anymore. And one thing I learned is that begun is halfway done. The way that I hack my own self-imposed limitations is to just take off that perfection expectation and to just start and to do it messy and to do it anyway. And speaking of, it's day 29 of the Bedhead videos. So I started these 29 days ago, just rolled out of bed and said, I'm going to make a video. I don't know if I'm going to publish it, but I'm going to record. And I think I riffed for like 20 minutes. And, here we are. Almost 30 days later, I'm going to be talking tomorrow in my video about just what I've learned from 30 days of hitting record with my bedhead, with however I'm looking, however I'm feeling in the morning before I go to my day job, my 9 to 5. I just knew I needed to be doing this. And I did have to find time for it, right? And I knew that my brain was only going to be functional enough to do this in the morning. So that's why I set out to do this. I knew I wasn't going to want to do my hair. I knew I wasn't going to want to do makeup. All of that was going to be an overcommitment for me. And so I just had to start. And I did the same thing last year. At the beginning of 2025, I started writing. I knew that I always wanted to be a writer. And I had this epiphany where I realized I don't need a college degree or a master's degree or a PhD to just write and share what's on my heart, what's on my soul, and the things that have worked for me and the things that haven't worked for me. I don't need a certification. I don't need a license. I could just start. I'd already built this wonky little website on WordPress using YouTube tutorials. And yeah, so I just started publishing blogs to that. And then I'd put the link on Facebook and I just kind of put it out there with no expectations. I was learning to put my needs before my wants. That was key because my soul had this deep need to express itself through writing. But what I wanted was validation. What I wanted was permission. But I learned that maybe those things would come later, at least the validation part. But what I needed to do was to start writing. And for me, that included publishing. I needed to be able to share what I was writing, what I was wanting to express. And I remember spending a Saturday, most of the day, wrapping up a post I had been working on for the entire week. And I remember thinking, oh my gosh, is this my life as a writer? Is this what this is going to take? Like half of Saturday, I'm going to be here writing just to publish into the void. And the most amazing thing happened. 5 people reached out to me and said that what I published, what I shared, meant something to them. and that it was impactful. And so, putting my need of expressing my soul through writing first, I got what I wanted, which was some validation, some sense that what I was sharing was resonating and was landing and was having an impact. Because that's what I really truly do want to do, is to share in a way that's meaningful and impactful and that gives you permission to show up, to live more authentically, to do what it is that's calling you, to do what it is that's just building up in you, that's saying, I need to do this thing. And it might be silly and it might be hard to justify, and you may never figure out if it's going to make you any money, because for some reason in our society, we just are believe that you have to be productive and that what you do has to be justifiable and that it has to make money. Oh, I say, let's just start. Let's just create these dialogues. Let's create safe spaces for creators to share what's on their heart, what their soul is all burned up and on fire about. So that's why I'm here doing this. And you can too, if you just start whatever thing that it is that's calling to you. And I'd love to ask, what's one thing that you're waiting to feel ready for? And then I'd like you to ask yourself, what kind of a world would we live in if the birds waited to sing until they were sure they were going to be heard? And what if the birds waited to sing not just when they were sure that they were going to be heard, but that their songs would be approved of? What would happen if Beethoven never composed music until he was waiting for a masterpiece to emerge, to be sure that it was going to be well received? What would happen? What would the world be like if poets never wrote unless they were positive they were going to be understood? That's not the kind of world I want to live in. And frankly, that's not the person I want to be either. I want to be willing to sing these songs, whether or not they're going to be heard, whether or not they're going to be approved of, just like those brilliant songbirds that wake up every morning and do their thing without permission, without validation, without needing anything other than to express themselves through their incredible songs. And it's something that's so easy for all of us to take for granted. So, what's standing in your way? Is it fear of failure? Or have you been doing a little over planning? Have you had a tendency to overcomplicate? Are you a bit of a perfectionist? Or have you simply been waiting for permission? And if you have, permission granted. And one of my favorite quotes that I'm going to close with that I have in my old journal is it going to be one day, or is it going to be day one? One day or day one? You get to decide. And you now have full free permission